in all the years that we have been working with the tech companies, our committee in the United States has actually done nothing, or very few things, to rein in big tech. And now along comes AI, which I misspoke the last time. AI. And my concern is that we have technology, but we also rely heavily on protecting consumers, which you mentioned yourself. And I am concerned that we are not getting what we need. And so I wanted to ask Ms. Kak, you talked a bit about some of the threats to consumers. What do you think some of the most dangerous things and the most important things that we should regulate at this point when it comes to AI?
Thank you, Ranking Member Schakowsky, and thank you for your leadership on these issues. It's a very long list, but simply put, if this moratorium were to go through, American consumers would have even less protections than they have today against some of the worst AI abuses and exploitation. So just to give you an example of the kind of incentives we're already seeing proliferating, first, and I mentioned this in my testimony, we have new variants of scams, manipulative AI companions that are targeting those most vulnerable among us, not to mention our children. Number two, we have opaque, inscrutable AI systems that hit directly at people's life chances, whether that's in education or in the housing market or even in healthcare. And finally, we're also seeing these secret algorithms use data about us, sensitive data, to hike up prices, to depress wages, and also to collude and rig markets that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. I also want to mention that many of the customers of AI are actually small businesses. And these small businesses are also going to be left unprotected against fraud and vulnerable to what we're seeing right now in the AI market, which is a lot of snake oil salesmen making claims that they can't always back up. So we need to forget that every single one of these legal protections that are potentially on the chopping block today have been hard fought. They are a result of direct experiences of harms from state lawmakers and their constituents, and I think it really would wipe out the very little tools we already have in our toolbox. What it would mean is that ordinary consumers need to rely on costly, lengthy and also very complicated litigation in order to remedy harms, and that's assuming that those harms can even be remedied after the fact. I gave some really devastating examples in my testimony. Sometimes the kinds of AI harm that AI is causing cannot be remedied at all.
I appreciate the work and the thought that you've given to this, and I think all of us, members of Congress, ought to put consumers first, and if we need to do some smart regulation, then that's what we ought to be having a conversation about, and I appreciate what you said, and I yield back.